There's a moment most people have had at least once. Something goes wrong. Not just a little wrong, but deeply, unfairly, personally wrong. And in that moment, a thought rises up almost automatically. Why me? As if the universe had singled you out, reviewed your file, and decided today was your day to suffer. Somewhere around 100,000 years ago, the human brain developed something that gave our ancestors a serious survival edge: the ability to detect when things were out of balance, when someone took more than their share, when effort and reward did not match up. Researchers studying early human groups found that this sense of fairness was not a luxury, it was a survival mechanism. Which means your brain did not evolve to be at peace with unfairness. It evolved to scream about it.
The problem is that the same system built to protect you in small tribal communities is now firing constantly in a world of 7 billion people and social media highlight reels. Your brain is running ancient software in a world it was never designed to process.
There is a pattern in how humans tell stories that quietly distorts everything. The stories that get passed down are almost always the ones where things worked out. What gets left out are the thousands of people who faced the same adversity and did not make it through, not because they were less deserving, but because outcomes and effort do not always align.
When you look at other people's lives and feel like theirs are smoother, easier, more blessed, you are almost always comparing your full experience to their highlight reel. You see their result. You rarely see their 3 a.m. One of the most unsettling findings in behavioral psychology is how powerfully humans resist randomness. When something bad happens, the mind instantly constructs a reason, a meaning. Researchers have found that people will identify patterns in completely random sequences because the brain would rather invent a false pattern than accept that something happened for no reason. And so, when life deals a hard hand, the brain reaches for a personal explanation. The universe is punishing me. I deserve this. When the actual story is simply difficult things happen and they are not about you. About 2,300 years ago, a group of thinkers in ancient Greece built an entire philosophy around this. The Stoics argued that most human suffering comes not from what happens, but from the gap between what we expect and what actually occurs. Modern psychology has since built entire therapeutic frameworks around the same idea, that the people who recover fastest from setbacks are not those who felt no pain, but those who refused to make the temporary permanent.
Studies on well-being consistently show that the strongest predictor of how happy someone feels is not their actual circumstances. It is how those circumstances compare to the people around them. A significant portion of the unfairness you feel may not be measuring your life at all. It may be measuring the distance between your reality and a curated version of someone else's.
Researchers studying trauma and recovery describe something called post-traumatic growth, not the idea that suffering is a gift, but something more honest, that in many people who go through serious adversity, something shifts afterward, a recalibration, a clearer sense of what actually matters, a kind of clarity that, by their own account, they could not have reached any other way.
The people who move through life with the most grace are not people who were dealt easy hands. They are people who stopped expecting the game to be fair and started playing it more honestly, more presently, and with a little more patience for themselves when the cards did not fall the way they hoped. That shift does not come from giving up. It comes from finally understanding what the game actually is.